First video of the year, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to everyone that watches this channel, interacts with the channel, leaves comments, leaves questions, leads conversations, or chimes in with new things to think about, new things to discuss, shares their perspectives or their stories. Everyone that subscribes, reaches out, emails. It's let's face it, 2021 was a crap year for everyone. And for me, making this content and working on this stuff is a huge, huge plus, and it's a huge help. So I just want to say thank you to everyone that's a part of it. Second quick update, the next video I'm going to do is going to be on a follow-up of the last video that had to do with our weight and the volume of kayak and how it interacts and how it handles depending on our weight, how much is packed in it. And I want to say also another thank you to everyone, once again, that interacts with these videos, because it had a lot of really great conversation attached to it. Lots of interesting points to share. And one particular shout out to Nick Shade. He is an avid boat builder. He knows his craft so well. And he brought up several very interesting points to think about as we think about our weight and volume and the kayak. So I'm making some stick figure drawings again to go through some of those conversations, but that's going to be the next one. But for this one, I wanted to share some really huge news for me, because I have finished my first full project. This is an actual photography book. And it's been a huge, huge deal for me in 2021 to put this project together. I mean, I think maybe the story might help others that might be doing something similar. This book is also a really big deal for me because it's the fourth that I've tried putting together, but it's the first one that I finish and publish. So in 2020, my family had to relocate to Savannah, Georgia during the lockdowns. It was a tough transition, and we were living with family members that we had to be extra careful with. When you go somewhere new, when you move somewhere new, especially when you change states and cities, you might go exploring all over the place. There's just so many places to see, so many places to experience, especially when, I'm sure like many of you, we love the outdoors. We love just seeing what nature has to offer. And here in Savannah, it's just nature is everywhere. But we were being extra careful, so we put that exploration on pause. And through the different waves, we were just going very slowly. So when things started easing up again, and we started venturing a little bit more and just doing a lot of those everyday things that we had put on pause, there were just so many scenes that were forming all around us, and like driving my kid to school, going to the grocery store, or whenever we did get out on the water, the wildlife we saw. And I was also having a bit of a hard time reconnecting and feeling good about just being out and exploring again. And so this concept became a bit of a healing project for me. It became a reason and a motivation and inspiration to go out looking for these different scenes. So I looked at every possible place I could go to within a 1 hour radius, as well as I have to thank so many friends, new friends, old friends that have recommended places to go to or have gone with me to either show me new places. Catherine, Matt, Ben, you guys have been fantastic at giving me tips or even just bringing me to some really incredible places. So whether it was for 20 minutes one day, half an hour, to being able to explore most of the day in the kayak, hiking, walking, or even just on the side of the road, just all these different scenes that I could find throughout the year or for as long as I feel needed to get to a certain place. This will be a project of just new discoveries that were waiting for us here all around us in Savannah. So eventually I had enough photos. I think I picked around 300 that I really liked. And then from there, I took a long time narrowing it down until I finally picked, I believe it was between 50 and 60 that I was really happy with. And I put them together as this project. And I did two versions of it. I did more like a zine. This one is a 7x7 little booklet that has all of them. And you know what I like about these is that they're close to what I would probably print and just hang around on my office 6x6s or 4x6s or 5x7s even. So this one is just a soft cover little booklet, which I'm really happy with. And then I also wanted to do, for the first time, I've never done a hardcover. This one is a 12x12, and the prints came out really nice. And the prints came out the way I probably would print them to hang up somewhere. For the holidays, I ended up printing a couple of these photos and giving them as presents just because I was so happy with the way a lot of these came out. So I shot some of these on digital, but I also shot many of them on film in parallel to kayaking and fishing and all these things that in a way were bringing me back to the basics of why I loved doing a lot of those things. With photography, film tends to slow the process down and really make you think about everything you're doing. Don't get me wrong, digital photography is amazing. What we can achieve now with digital cameras is incredible, but I do find that sometimes we get caught up in, oh, okay, I'm just going to capture this really quickly and deal with it later, versus the process. Especially for this project, I used a medium format Bronica S2A, which, I mean, it's a fantastic, fantastic camera, but everything is mechanical in it. You have to use a light meter. You have to think about all the settings. Everything is slow and deliberate. And with medium format, you get 12 shots per roll. And so what I was finding is that going out to all these places and taking, first of all, the camera is heavy. So when I was taking all this equipment around, it was really good exercise too. So this project became this really wonderful overlap of all these different disciplines and falling in love once again with exploration and going out in nature and seeing everything that it has to offer. Sometimes right down the street, there were a couple of shots that I had to pull over on the side of the road coming back from school, where, for example, there was one tree in particular where there was this tiny ravine, and only in the afternoon, at just around the time that he was being let go from school, the sun would peek in through the trees and light up one single tree. And so I would try to time going to pick him up so I could have those extra 10 minutes, pull over on the side of the road and take that picture as I went to get him. But it was the first photography project for me that I was able to very clearly set up my starting point, think about when my ending point might be, when I had enough material that I felt there was a story to tell there, and then putting it all together. It was awesome that the camera gave me an excuse and the motivation to go out every time. And even if I didn't take a single photo in that particular outing, I was still out all the time. I was still exploring, and I was reconnecting with the outdoors. And it was something that I had put on hold for a very long time. Anyway, that's babbling enough about the book. Please let me know in the comments if you would be interested in seeing a video where I put together just focused on the process of starting, what equipment was used, how I put it all together, and then compiling, narrowing things down, and then the actual book making process. I am happy to share that. If anyone is interested, just let me know. Also, as a thank you to everyone that's watching, for the first 3 people that email me after I post this video, I'll send you one of the zine soft covers your way. If you want to learn more about the books, I'll put a link here. You'll see there's a really big difference in price when it comes to printing a zine and a hardcover book. That's kind of why I did the 2, just because this was more just, I wanted to have something tangible in my hands. This is a little easier to have printed. So one last thing, on my Ko-fi page, which is the support page for this channel, I'll upload a bunch of these as high-res images if anyone wants to download them. And that is available to anybody that has supported me in the past or are members of the page. I made the page so that if you support the channel, you don't need to be a member or have a monthly anything. It's just you could do it once and you would have access to everything that's posted on that page. So if there's any comments, any questions, anything you'd like to add, please do leave a comment below. thank you again, and thank you so much for being a part of this channel, this community. I have a whole bunch of videos lined up. There's a bunch of stuff coming, and this project just took quite a bit of time to put together. I'm happy it's done, and so now I can go back to continuing with this content. I hope 2022 is fantastic for everyone. Subscribe if you like. I'm always trying to put these videos out. As always, Luke Romer, Kayak Hipster. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.